Hey everyone, how you all doing today? So we are back with another meta, guys. We had the Foster Cup, right? That video should be out now, and now we have the Open Ultra League returning. Let me know which meta you're going to be playing. For me, well, we get the Ultra League every season, so I'm going to be going with the Foster Cup. But I feel like Foster is super RPS, so I might transition over to the Ultra League at some point. We'll see. But definitely going to be starting in the Foster Cup for sure. But with that being said, let's see what we got going on for us for the S rank. Reggie Steele. I mean, we've had multiple meta guides for the Ultra League this season, so you may have already seen it. It's more so a reminder, right? But yeah, Reggie Steele. Obviously, we know how strong that is. I feel like I don't use Reggie Steele as much nowadays as I used to in the past. I don't know, maybe because you can't really lock on things down. Obviously, that's always been an issue. But still, obviously, still really strong, really powerful Pokemon. Registeel is definitely on the top for sure. Then we have the Gator for Alligator, Shadow, or Regular. I like the Shadow one. Ice Beam or Crunch. You know what? Could go either way. Do you want the coverage for the Dragons with Ice Beam? Maybe you do. I mean, Crunch is still going to do well, of course, though. It gets to Giratina. But I've seen both movesets. I feel like Crunch is more common, though, overall. And then we have Giratina Altered, which has obviously been around since Go Battle League began in the Ultra League. Really good stuff. I should probably try to get a better one. I'm using a Raid Court one, but I should probably try and get a better one at this point. And then we have Annihilate. So Annihilate, obviously the new edition, which came out last season, like mid last season. Super powerful stuff. Annihilate is definitely the best counter user in the Great and Ultra League, and even in the Master League. Definitely the Master Premier because you see it a lot. But Open Master League, I guess you still don't see it a lot. But still, definitely the best counter user. I don't know how they would nerf this. Well, they would have to nerf counter itself, which would affect a lot of Pokemon. But that may be something next season or a couple seasons from now. Who knows? But either way, of course, Annihilate is super strong, super good. And then we have Zygote Complete. I know this is very inaccessible because you need 250 cells, and a lot of you might not have it, and that's totally fine. There are definitely other dragons that you could use, like Dragonite or Giratina, but Zygote Complete, the bulk just helps it so much. Cresselia, super bulky as well. Of course, it has multiple movesets, as we've seen. Do you go with the Future Sight to hit the fire types, like Talonflame and Skeledirge, or do you go the Grass Knot, Moonblast route? It really depends on the team. For the A rank, we do have Pidgeot or Shadow Pidgeot. I loved using this. I loved it in the lead just because you could Brave Bird and Dip. Now, you could go, with the Shadow one or the regular one, whichever one you choose and whichever one you feel is going to be better for your team. But yeah, really powerful Pokemon. All in all, I just love Pidgeot. Just love it. I just loved using it in the past. It's definitely really strong. And then we have Manabuzz, super tanky, super thick, of course. And it could take hits for days. Virizion is a strong Pokemon. I like the combination Double Kick, Sacred Sword, Leaf Blade. Stone Edge, obviously good, obviously a thing. I just like the Leaf Blade. I just like the coverage on it. And then we have Cobalion. I feel like Cobalion could probably be moved down. So probably doesn't really deserve to be in the A ranking nowadays. I mean, Annihilate definitely stole its spot for sure, and then some, right? Virizion's still really good. I feel like Cobalion probably bumped down a little bit. Probably maybe in the other options for next season. But it's still not a bad Pokemon. You still see it here or there. It's just not as common because of that Annihilate. And then Tapu Fini did receive a Nature's Madness at some point. Was it last season? But whenever it got it, became really good. Of course, with the Moonblast, it was still a good Pokemon. But Nature's Madness, you just get to it faster. You debuff your opponent. It's just a better move. And then we have Empoleon. Empoleon did receive Steel Wing, so definitely helped out Empoleon for sure. Wouldn't be this highly ranked without it, but yeah, something to keep in mind. Obviously, Steel Wing is really powerful. Tentacruel, another powerful Pokemon with Poison Jab. I mean, I hit Legend with Tentacruel. I hit it in the Great League, but I still hit Legend with it. And then obviously in the Ultra League as well, I've been using Tentacruel a lot. So definitely love the Pokemon, really strong, really good stuff. Another great counter using Poliwrath. Yes, Scold was nerfed, but Poliwrath is still a great Pokemon. I've even seen Poliwrath without Scold, right, with Dynamic Punch instead. So really powerful Pokemon. One of the best counter users. So, I mean, it's Annihilate and Poliwrath. Those two are the best in the Ultra League. We used to see Scrafty. You still might see it here or there, but probably not with these two running around, right? Moving on to the B rank, we have Skarmory, another steel wing user. Yeah, you want a hundo, you want it best buddied, you want it level 50. It is a big investment. I just was able to finish it with the last Go Fest in New York City, right? I think it was New York City, right? Where Skarmory was spawning, or was it the global one? But whichever one, I was able to finish Skarmory, and I'm really happy with that. And then we have Talonflame. Talonflame Incinerate was buffed a couple seasons ago, whenever it was. Really strong Pokemon, really powerful. And then we have Regirock. Not quite as good as Registeel, but still not a bad one. I see it here or there. I see it a handful of times, not too often, but it's still there. And then we have Guzzlord. I've loved using Guzzlord as well in the Ultra League. I think it's a great Pokemon. I love it in the back. I mean, it needs to avoid fairy types. That's basically it. I mean, there's other things it's weak to, but it cannot see fairy types because it's double weak to it. Obviously, it doesn't want to see ice types, so Alolan Sandslash would be terrible for it. And then fighting types it doesn't like. So there's some weaknesses here, but still really strong Pokemon, and it does have that bulk to it as well. Defense Deoxys, another one that we've seen decent amount of. I do have the rank 1 for it, and then Ampharos or Shadow Ampharos. Really good electric type Pokemon to use. Swampert. Okay, I mean, Swampert, if you're looking for a Mudboy, Swampert probably the way to go. I mean, you could technically get Wishcash here, and I believe Quagsire as well. I do actually have a Hundo Wishcash. Actually, it's a Shundo, which I could power up, but I haven't used Wishcash in the Ultra League. Swampert, if you see a Mudboy, probably going to be Swampert. Then we have Jellicent. Jellicent definitely has that bulk to it in the Ultra League. And then Greedent. Oh, talk about bulk. Greedent is a great save swap, because even if they have an answer to it, like, so Cobalion was a hard answer because it resists every move Greedent has, besides the Mudshot damage. So Cobalion obviously was great to Greedent. But because Cobalion is essentially out of the meta, because you don't see it too often nowadays, the main ones you have to watch out for are Poliwrath and Annihilate, and it's not a good matchup for the Greedent, but at least you can hit for neutral damage, like with the Crunch against the Annihilate or the Body Slam against the Poliwrath, right? And I do like that moveset. Trailblaze obviously also an option, but I just like Crunch for like the Giratina and Cresselia. Moving on to the other options, we have Pelipper. I've used Pelipper, a Hundo, maxed out level 50. I've had it for a while now, so definitely a cool Pokemon. Nothing super great. It's just more so fun. Skeledirge is another great Incinerate user. We have Gliscor, which I've seen from time to time. Gallade did receive Psycho Cut, which is pretty good. It gets the Leaf Blade in close combat really fast. And then Dragonite. So if you're looking for another Dragon user, I think, or a Dragon user, I think Dragonite is really good. Goodra as well, another great Dragon type Pokemon. If you don't have the Zygarde complete, those are fantastic. And then we have Charizard. So Skeledirge and Talonflame kind of outshine Charizard, but Charizard's still there. And then Trevenant. Trevenant did receive the Seed Bomb buff this season. It still takes 6 Shadow Cliffs to get to it, so it's not any faster to get to it, but it's not a bad Pokemon. Dragalge, another Dragon type, and then we have Walrein, which is essentially out of the meta. I mean, we don't see Walrein. Maybe Cobalion should go in this, and Walrein should be removed. Abomasnow, and then Aurorus. So some ice types towards the end. Moving on to the solid team options. So for the first team is going to be Defense Deoxys with Greedent as a safe swap, and Guzzlord. So this team has been working out well for me the past couple of seasons, and I've climbed pretty well with it, not going to lie. I guess it was doing better before the Annihilate introduction, but even with the Annihilate introduction, still not bad, because obviously if it's in the lead, you do have the Psycho boost that you could do super effective damage with. Greedent, if you safe swap, they respond with Annihilate. Greedent, I mean, you're not going to beat the Annihilate with Greedent, but you could still do damage to it, like with Crunch, maybe you get a debuff. Next up, another team, we do have Pidgeot, Virizion, Cobalion. Probably replace that Cobalion with the Annihilate, to be honest. But, yeah, I mean, this team worked out well in the past, and I think it will still do well as well. So, yeah, that's probably what I would do. I would probably take out the Cobalion and add Annihilate and see how it works. So, I mean, you could bread and dip into the Annihilate. I think Annihilate is a pretty good safe spot. Obviously, you don't want to see Fairy types with the back line. The only thing is, if you take out Cobalion and add Annihilate, you're even more weak to Fairies, because Cabalion's not weak to Fairies, it takes neutral damage, but still a really strong team. And then next up we have another team, Giratina. This team is ABA weak, two fairy types are like Charm users. So Giratina in the lead, Tentacruel, and then Poliwrath. So if you have a Charm user in the lead, that's really unfortunate. I'm just going to say that. If it's Tapu Fini, you can actually beat Tapu Fini with the Giratina because you resist a Water Gun, so that would be good. But you really don't want to see a Charm user. Right, or like, I guess Clefable with like Fairy Wind gets to the Moonblast really fast. But if you don't see it, if it happens to be in the back, Tentacruel can handle it. And then we have another team, Cresselia, Feraligatr, Registeel. So this team, if you're not running Future Sight, kind of ABA weak to like the Incinerate users, right? Because you have Registeel in the back. So something to keep in mind, probably want the Future Sight on this. Future Sight Grass Knot, I would say. And then I think Feraligatr is a great safe swap too. And then next up we have Annihilate in the lead with Greedent, and then the Gator, either the Shadow or the regular. I like the Shadow one, but I just love using the Shadow one. Hopefully we get a Totodile Community Day. By the time, I mean, we're getting a surprise Community Day Classic, so it is possible that that's Totodile. I'm recording this ahead of time, so maybe Totodile has been announced by then, or maybe something else has been. Something to keep in mind. I'm recording this before that Classic was announced. But, yeah, Greedent obviously always a great save swap. And then we have another team, Dragonite, or the Shadow Dragonite, Registeel, Jellicent. So I've seen this team as well before. I've seen Dragonite, Steel, plus Water. I mean, you could have different Steel and different Water types, but I've generally seen this team, and it's done well. But with that being said, that will be it for this one. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.